Hey crochet friends, I'm Tiffany and welcome to my channel where I teach you a little bit of gardening and a little bit of crochet. Now today's topic is a summer lap blanket. You really could use this for spring, summer, or fall. It doesn't have to just be for summer. I use a V-stitch that's very beginner friendly. The whole video is beginner friendly. I teach you every single thing that you need to know, including the tassels. So let's get started making this lap blanket. You're going to need 2 skeins of yarn. I'm using the Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo brand and it's 482 yards, also 10 ounces, so that's the measurements. And then if you want this exact color, it's called Icelandic, but if you want any other color in any other brand, just make sure that it's a medium weight size 4. That's all that you need to know. And then you need a pair of scissors, a sewing needle to weave in your ends, and also a K crochet hook, 6.5 millimeters. That's what you're gonna need. So let's get started with the slip knot. All right, so to begin, this is your working yarn. You're gonna make a little curve with it, and this distance should be about 4 inches or so. It doesn't have to be exact. And midway, pinch it with your thumb and pointer, and pinch the other yarn with your middle and ring finger like that. So that's how it should look. It will create a loop. With your right thumb and pointer, make a heart, go underneath that loop, and make sure you have tension, so pull against each other. With your palm facing up, you're going to turn your palm facing down. It's going to create an X. Turn your right wrist towards your left. Grab this yarn now. Hold it and then let the yarn above and below fall off just naturally, pulling your hands away from each other, and it will cinch up and create your slip knot. Now put your crochet hook through that and go underneath the knot and just scoot it towards your hook. And don't make it too snug, and you're ready to go. So we're gonna chain in multiples of 3, so you can do any number. This is the width of your blanket. So I chose 102, so that's what I'm gonna chain, but you can do any number. If you want it smaller or bigger in width than what I'm doing, just change the number, just make sure it is in multiples of 3. So if you don't know how to chain, it's really easy. Put your crochet hook in front of the working yarn, wrap it around 1 time, and go through the loop that's on your hook. Just like that. Put your crochet hook in front of the working yarn, wrap it around 1 time, go through the loop that's on your hook in that space. And that's 2 chains. And you can always let go and scoot your fingers up. Put the crochet hook in front, wrap it around 1 time, go through that loop. And that's all that you do. Go up to 102 chains, and I will meet you when I've chained that. All right, I have my 102 chains. So now we're gonna start our V-stitches, and you need to do a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So you don't count what's on your hook. That is your 1st chain, your 2nd, your 3rd, and your 4th. I'm going to go in that with a double crochet. So you yarn over first, go in that chain. You're going to yarn over, pull through, and you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2. 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through those 2. Now chain 1. And you're going to do a double crochet in that same exact chain. So yarn over first and go in that same chain, wrap the yarn around, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, wrap the yarn around, pull through 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through 2. And that is a V-stitch. So now you're going to skip 2 chains. So I'm going to skip that chain and go into this one with my next V-stitch. So yarn over, skip 2 chains, go in the next, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 1, yarn over first, go in that same chain, wrap the yarn around, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is your next V-stitch. And that's all that you're going to do. You're going to skip 2 chains, go in the next, wrap the yarn around, pull through, wrap the yarn around, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over first, go in that same chain, yarn over, pull through, just like that. You're going to do this all the way down. This is the only thing that you're going to do for this row. Just skip 2 chains, go in the next with a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip 2 chains, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. You're going to go all the way till you have 2 chains left. So your last V-stitch will be right here. So that is my last chain, second to last chain, third. That will be your last V-stitch. I will meet you there and show you the next step. All right, that was my last V-stitch, and you should have 33 V's if you count all of them. Now we need the last stitch to match the beginning. So if you remember, we went into the 4th chain from the hook at the very beginning, which leaves 3 chains over here. 2 of them count as a double crochet, and 1 of them counts as a skipped space. So if we go to this end, right here we have our skipped space that we're going to skip over, and then in that last chain you're going to do a double crochet. So you yarn over and go into that very last chain, with a double crochet. And that is how you end this row. So now we're going to chain 3. And turn. And that chain 3 counts as that first double crochet, just like at the very beginning when we skipped over those first 3 chains and went into the 4th chain from the hook. You will have a double crochet on the beginning and end of every single row. So your chain 3 is that first double crochet. So now you're going to look at your V stitches. That space in the middle is what you're going to go in to do your next V stitches. So this space inside the V. So I'm going to yarn over first. This is my first V-stitch, so I'm going to go right between them and do my first double crochet. So you go right in that hole, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. It's in that hole, just like that. Now you're going to chain 1 and do a double crochet in that same exact space. So your V stitches are going to be on top of each other for every single row, as long as you go in the middle of the V stitches. So that was 1. Now you're going to do a V stitch in this next V stitch. That's the only thing that you need to do. chain 1, another double crochet in that same space. That's my second V-stitch above the lower one. So 1 double crochet, chain 1 double crochet in the same space. Super easy. And do this all the way down, and I will meet you again at that last V-stitch. I will meet you there and show you the next step. All right, so this is my last V-stitch, so I'm going to go in that space and do my last V-stitch of this row. Just like that. And now you have your chain 3 over here. You're going to go in that space and do just 1 double crochet to end this row. So just go in that space and do your last 1 double crochet. So I'm going to do this row one more time with you. Chain 3 and turn. And you're going to start in that first V-stitch right there in the middle with your next V-stitch. So that chain 3 counts as that first double crochet. So do your V-stitch in the next V-stitch right here. Go in that space, yarn over, pull up a loop, chain 1, and then do another double crochet in that same space for your V-stitch. And your V-stitches will always be above each other. And just keep doing that in every single V-stitch. 1 double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, all in the same space. And you will again have 33 V-stitches. So 33 of the V's, so don't just count them separately. 2 double crochets that make a V, count that whole entire V as 1, and then you should have 33 of them. And then you should have a double crochet at the beginning and a double crochet at the end. And that's all that you're doing. This row is all that you're doing over and over and over. So I will meet you at the end to show you where that last double crochet goes again if you need help. So pause the video, finish this row, and I will meet you there. All right, I have one more V-stitch left. Just like that. And then I'm going to do 1 double crochet in this space on the end to match the 1 double crochets at the beginning and end of every row. So this was row 3, so now you're going to start row 4 where you chain 3 and turn. And then in that first V-stitch, you're going to do your first V-stitch. So that's all that you're doing, just row 2 over and over and over. You're going to go up to row 62. That is my length. It's about 35 inches long. So if you want it shorter or longer than that, you can fudge with the numbers because you will have a little bit extra yarn to work with. But don't use too much of your yarn because we are going to make tassels for the 4 corners. That is all that it takes. So happy crocheting your lap blankets, and I will meet you at the end. All right, so I am all done. This is how it should look. This is 62 rows. So at the very end, all you have to do is chain 1 and then pull on your hook and give yourself a decent amount to weave in. And then that's literally all that you have to do. You have to weave in this part and your tail at the very beginning. So I'm going to grab my sewing needle so I can show you how I weave this in real quick. So since it's such spaced out stitches, you have to kind of cautiously weave this in so it's not so noticeable. So kind of just go underneath just some of the stitches and then just space it out. So just kind of keep traveling. And then don't pull too tight. That way it doesn't look like you do anything. And then just keep going. Just kind of follow the stitches just so that it's spaced out, so that you just don't notice that you wove anything in. And then start going in different directions. Go back the way you came. It's really easy. You really can't mess up weaving in your ends. Especially when you use yarn like this, where there's multicolors. It definitely camouflages this last part for you. And you can keep going and keep going, but I think that that's good. And then just weave in your tail at the beginning the same exact way. So I won't show you that. I'll just move on to showing you how to do the tassels. So I made 3 tassels already. I'm going to show you the 4th. I have one more corner to put it on. So I stuck with the same yarn, but you can do anything that you would like. Now you need to figure out the length of your tassel. I chose a 5-inch wide book, and if I wanted a really long tassel, I would go in this direction. You're going to wrap it around, and whatever width that you choose is the length of your tassel. So it's about 5 inches for my tassels. So you can pick a book, a DVD case, anything that you're able to wrap your yarn around. Simple as that. Now you need super sharp scissors and a crochet hook. It doesn't have to be any specific one. I'm just going to use the same one I've been using. And then I'm going to use my plastic sewing needles. I don't use these very often because they're really big and it's hard to weave in tails with this kind. But for this method, I'm going to use this because it has a big hole, and you're going to put 2 strands of yarn through it. So that's all that you need. So I'm going to move some stuff out the way that I don't need quite yet. I'm going to grab my yarn, and what you do with your object is you lay your yarn flat, matching one of the sides. So I'm going to hold my yarn on that side right there, pick the book up, and I'm going to wrap the yarn around it. And I'm going to do it 40 times. So that was 1, 2, I'm going to go up to 40, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, okay, 40. And now I'm going to have it's on the back side, and I'm going to lay my book down, and I'm going to cut this strand away because you don't need it. Doesn't have to be completely against the book, but just cut it away. And now give about a foot of yarn, cut that, so just eyeball it, and then about 2 feet. So double the yarn that you just cut, about like that. I'm going to cut right here. Simple as that. Don't need that yarn anymore. Grab your foot piece, and you're going to put it underneath all these strands. So grab your crochet hook, kind of pull up on all your strands so you can get under every single one, just like that. Put your yarn, this foot of yarn, lay it on it so that it can grab it, and then pull through, just like that. Now I'm going to make it go, this is the end that we've cut, I'm going to make it go in this direction. So I'm going to pick up my book, show you what I'm doing. I'm going to wiggle, like pull left and right on this yarn, just wiggle it till it gets center. And then I'm going to lift up on my strands to see if they're matched up. They're not. So I'm just going to pull on this one. That's about good enough. Okay, so now you can tie, and how you would do a regular tie where you make an X and you go through. I'm going to flip it over, go through it once more, and now pull it down to all those strands and pull on it. Don't pull too tight to where it breaks, because then you got to start all over. Now you can turn your book on its side or whatever object, and then pull all of this off of your book or your DVD case or anything. Just slide it off, just like that. And in that space, you're going to put your scissors in it. So this is what it looks like. That's the top that's tied in this space. So put your scissors through it. I'm going to turn it so I can really give myself some tension. And then I'm just going to start cutting all those ends, just like that. Now you can brush it. Don't brush it too much if you don't want the individual strands to unravel, but just kind of get it a little bit more center. See, so it kind of just doesn't look like there's a space inside. And then lay it down for a second, grab that 2 foot of yarn and find roughly the center of that. So it's about right here. I'm gonna lay this down on my book. You don't really need your book or anything anymore. And lay it about 1 inch down on that tassel. Now you can lay it even farther down. It just depends on how big of this ball that you want. So about 1 inch is good. And you want them all to match. So then you just lift up and do that same double knot. So where you crisscross over, pull it through, and then you're going to do it one more time. Crisscross over, pull it through, and then start tying. That's what it looks like. And now my ones over here are a little bit bigger than that, so I'm going to scoot mine down just a bit. Not too much. That's good. And now pull all the way on it, and then you can do a regular tie, just like that. So that's how it should look. And you're gonna put these 2 on your sewing needle. So match up your ends. I have to cut mine to match it up. This is why I like this needle, because I would never be able to do this with my metal one. Now grab your tassel and you're gonna wrap it around about twice. That was once, twice. Now I'm gonna kind of hold it between my pointer and middle finger like that, so that I have a good hold of it. And you're gonna go above what you wrapped, go underneath it from the top and out the bottom. And just pull on it. And now it's tied underneath all that, so it's not going to go anywhere. But now it's definitely not going to go anywhere. Just keep tugging on it, and that's all that you do. Now you can cut that strand to match the rest of your tassel. And you can cut the bottom if you lay it upside down, kind of squeeze it between 2 fingers and just go up on it. I can cut and make a fresh matching line so it's all even. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let mine be really natural looking. And you should have your 2 strands on the top. So I'm going to get my book out the way. I'm going to grab my last corner. And I need my crochet hook because I'm going to go through just any of the chains on that corner. So this is my corner. I'm going to go through 2 chains. And now I'm going to grab one of those top strands, lay it on my crochet hook, and pull it through that loop all the way through. Now I don't need my crochet hook anymore. So this is what it should look like. And now you can do that double, well, triple knot where you cross over, go through, flip it over, go through it again. It just gives a secure tie. And then don't pull on it so tight that it snaps. And then you can do your regular tie. And now even up these two strands. If they're not, you can cut them. They're about the same, so I won't cut them. Put them on your sewing needle. And now you're going to go down through the top of your tassel and underneath this wrapped piece. So just pick a spot anywhere at the top, and then just make sure you're going through that center piece. So see, I was not. So you just kind of move your needle around. There we go. I'm in the center, and just push. And just pull on your needle, pulling those strands down that top. And you can pull on your blanket so it won't squish the ball that you've made. And that's it. Now you can take your needle off, and if it's too long, you can cut that. Just like that. All right, guys, so that's all that it takes to make these super easy summer lap blankets. Hopefully you love this pattern and it was really easy to follow. Tag me on Facebook if you haven't already. Show me if you've made these blankets, if you made them in different colors, if you did the tassels in different colors. I would love to see them. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe and all those good things. It really helps me out. And have fun crocheting your summer lap blankets and making your tassels. Bye, crochet friends.